Bring them out, bring them out.
I'm a swing and a swing and a swing to the left.
Some of the realest shit I ever wrote. Half of the realest shit I ever smoked.
This morning, I woke up, feeling brand new, and I jumped up, feeling like, yeah. She a fucking nigga off the ground for a photo. She ain't really bad in the photo shoot.
I'm tired of you fakers, Carolina, but I still rep the Lakers. West side, east side, every side, my ties do with my neighbors.
Whoa! Hey, make sure you let you hit that.
I want this whole audience to look and stare at every MC that get on the middle of the stage. Because if they don't represent, they're wasting your time. Time is the only true currency. You can always make money, but you can never get time back.
What up, y'all? This is Blake with 106.7 The Beat and Blake's Takes. We're out here with my boy Dot, and we're here to present to you South by Southwest 2018, A Fan's Perspective. For those of you that don't know, South by Southwest is a week-long festival down in Austin, Texas. It entails music, which is kind of the end we went and covered, but there's also a ton more stuff going on. There's a whole film end, fashion, technology. Basically, all the companies that are anybody kind of are down there showing off their, whether it's their new music, their new fashion, the kind of just the progressive stuff within the industry, the forward-thinking kind of stuff that you see there first before it's out everywhere else, as well as a lot of musicians that are looking to expand their audience, kind of put their music out there. It's a great place for any up-and-coming artist to kind of go down to and just present your music to an audience that is very receptive, kind of to checking it out.
Yeah, South by is really cool because it's kind of like sometimes it's these major companies or brands kind of sponsor these promotional events, and they'll kind of include artists like larger, more established, legendary artists, but then you also have your newcomers, your up and coming artists, and it'll be kind of nice because it's you kind of get a little bit of both. So
you'll have like a ton of different levels of artists, which is really cool because you can go to one show and see both a person that knew forever that you wanted to see, and then also walk away with a bunch of new artists that you didn't know that you would fuck with. And it's really cool to just kind of not know going into every show what you're going to kind of walk out with. So we're going to show you a whole bunch of highlights from shows and kind of the sights and sounds of Austin. We encourage you to pay attention not only to the shows, obviously, and the performers, but part of what makes this festival, especially in Austin, so cool is the crowd, the people you're around. Any artists that you see that you may not have heard about or heard before, we encourage you to take a look. All of their social medias will be included in the description of this video. So anybody you see that catches your eye, definitely look into them. That's, again, part of what South by is about, and we kind of want to present that to you and allow you to experience it kind of as we did.
Yeah, you never know, which artist is really going to blow up. And so, some fans get an early look in, the history of some of these artists, history in the making.
So the first show we got to that we'll introduce you to here was a really cool thing to kind of see. First show in Texas. It was Paul Wall and Slim Thug showcase.
got the diamonds in my mouth.
So as you guys can see, that was a hell of a way to start a trip in Texas. So from there, one other thing we wanted to touch on before we kind of get to the other shows is one of the other unique things about South by. It's a supportive environment for creativity. The artists make sure to encourage, almost every single artist you see perform will make sure to address the crowd directly and encourage people, inspire people, speak directly on where they've been and how some people might not think they're in a position where they can make shit happen for themselves. And the artist will kind of get very personal and talk about what they've been through, let everybody know that they can do it, be very just encouraging, something that you don't necessarily see all the time in hip-hop and performance and stuff like that. So it is a really cool thing to kind of see and be a part of and just take inspiration from. I know the last year we went and this year, you come out of it after a week of hearing that stuff and you feel more inspired than you really think possible.
Yeah, definitely. And just like, you know, each artist just came from somewhere, you know, to make it to that stage, you know, and, you know, as we mentioned, like a lot of artists who are showcased in these, you know, shows are up and coming, or, you know, sometimes it's like they make a name for themselves at South by, or, you know, you'll see people before they blow up. And so it's really nice because they're, you know, they're somewhere on the way, but like, you know, they're still hungry for more, you know, or they're kind of looking back on everything they've done.
If you go out here to South by as an up-and-coming rapper or musician or just somebody trying to make it happen, really in whatever your lane is, it's just super inspiring to hear people that have been through the ups and downs of all of that, who are now on the other end or on the cusp of kind of making shit happen for themselves, tell you that you can do it too. And after hearing it so many times, you really start to believe them. So we made you a little montage here kind of the best encouragement, kind of inspirational shit that we heard from a lot of the artists here at South by.
As far as everybody who's going through, not just the hard, but just the struggle in general, you know, it's cats like us out here that don't forget where we come from. We out here fighting for y'all every day. So on behalf of me and Sway,
if you got a dream and your best friend looking at you like, oh, you crazy, don't get mad at your friend. Take that as motivation and make sure that you prove them wrong and prove yourself right at the same time.
And to any new artists out here who's grinding and doing their thing, and you giving all your time, your energy, your money, you're sacrificing, and you feeling like you're not getting the attention that you deserve because people not respecting your talent, don't even trip. I've been there, and I could be a walking testament that even if they not paying attention now, they will pay up later. True shit.
Work hard to go for it, you know what I mean? All you gotta do is goddamn keep going first, get up off your ass, get out the house every day and go get it. I gotta grind one stop.
In unity, 1, 2, 3, we're gonna say this in unity for everybody to hear on the radio with Sway in the morning. We're gonna say peace, love, unity, and having fun. We're gonna let them know what the culture of hip hop is right here with Sway in the morning on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Peace, love, unity, having fun. That is the culture of hip hop.
Being a female in hip hop and music business is not always easy. What keeps you fighting a good fight? And I tell them outside of a supreme love and passion for hip hop, I do it for her and for her and for her and for her and for you. And the daughter that you may have, if you don't have your wife and your mother and your sister, so that they know that anything a man can do, we can do just as well, if not 10 times better than real shit.
Time is the only true currency. You can always make money, but you can never get time back. Hey. Man, that was bars right there, man.
So the next thing we got into after that Paul Wall Slim Thug show was we went and saw a live broadcast of Sway. Now, for those of you that don't know who Sway is, he's one of the most influential DJs really in all of hip-hop, as far as personalities on the radio, as far as the outreach he makes sure to have. He's always made sure to use his influence to really help artists that he believes in, which is really cool to see, because that a lot of people will sell out their opinions or their influence and all that kind of stuff, and he has never done that. He also obviously has the consistent content in the freestyles, legendary freestyles, and he really uses that as a means to let artists kind of create platforms for themselves. He lets them come in. One guy, we talked to Tobe Nwigwe, who you'll see in this video, who we actually had a chance to sit down with, told us how Sway just saw his content and reached out and said, when are you coming on the show? And that's kind of just a good summary of how Sway moves.
Yeah, Sway is definitely a man of the people, a man of the public, a man of the community as far as the radio goes, and that's kind of, you know, what the radio's job is to be. And, you know, he doesn't sell out, you know, like you said, like, he uses his platform to, you know, display other, you know, artists who are doing something that's, you know, in good reflection of that.
So without further ado, Sway's broadcast.
Get him up! Go, Uncle! Go!
I want this whole audience to look and stare at every MC that get on the middle of the stage. Because if they don't represent, they're wasting your time.
The poet warriors, poet-oriented, chosen warriors, definition marathon victorious. Script decides to take your inside the lyrics like hieroglyphics, spitting rhyme provision any given time, shining different. Hit the rhythm, no intermission to interrupt. Sway in the morning, now's the time to giddy up.
Busy B talked about what hip-hop is all about earlier today. Say it again, Busy B, what's hip-hop about? Peace, love, unity, and having fun, okay? And this man has been a pillar of bringing unity in our community, and he's been sacrificial in his efforts to help people in Houston and the surrounding area after this natural disaster took place. For that alone, I give praise to this man, and I want to say thank you.
Here is the inventor of the scratch. And this goes way back. This is not 1995. This is not 1985. No, we go back. This is the grand wizard, DJ Theodore, the inventor of the Theodore, y'all make some noise. The grand wizard. Austin, make some noise.
Stop the beat, drop the beat. Stop the beat. Drop the beat. Stop the beat. Drop the beat. Beat. Stop the beat. Stop the beat. 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 Beat.
So right in every light, always back in. Got so high, black dog, I thought my backseat was a mattress. You the type to tap out, little bitch, I'm trying to tap in. I know strippers that make millions hitting poles now. I know some women that make millions with their goals now. I know some niggas that make millions putting flows down.
Our outreach, that's what we intended on doing when we started this show in 2011, was to bridge those gaps. In America, we got age gaps. So you got the old fighting the young and the young fighting the old and everything in between. All that's just distractions. All that's just nonsense, really, to keep us fighting, right? And so we don't prescribe to that. We move on another lane. We move on another frequency. And then we also have geography gaps. You being from Africa, I'm from Oakland. Look at us. You look like you could be my cousin.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they known for shooting and stabbing. If you ain't known in my hood, bitch, you look like you dabbing. My hood treat me like the boy from Adam. That's why every single beat I need a fork and napkin. Cause I swear it's time to eat. This for my partner's deceased who ain't never make it out the league. This for my mama who put me in Little League and couldn't afford cleats. For little Mitch, running me over, swear that turned me to a beast. This for my sister, for my niece, this for Fat, this for Reese, this for radio not showing love even though they obsolete. This for E, this for C, and all them G's letting text blow. I'm trying to have some substance for all of my dogs like Becco. No Jose paper might keep a blaze on me like dress code. Matter of fact, this for all the years I was stuck riding Metro. Couldn't afford no petrol. Now they swear I'm celestial. They never seen them local special from more young put them in rep so hard for Southwest Atlanta, Texas, that's where my heart is.
So the last performer you just saw there, Tobe Nwigwe, we actually had a chance to catch up with him for an interview shortly after the show, and which kind of leads into one of the other really unique things about South by Southwest is the accessibility of kind of just everybody, all the artists that are around the city for the week, because it's a week-long festival, because most people are there for the whole week. You'll see artists get off stage. There's a few videos you'll see where artist gets off stage, walks through the crowd. Not like your typical concert where there's the backstage and they hide and you really don't see them besides on the stage. You'll see these guys out in the streets.
You know, a lot of artists, whether, people talk about it or not, they're fans of other artists, or they might have friends, who are other artists. So, that's really cool because, they're just walking around, just as people at times, seeing these other shows.
So we got to sit down with Tobe Nwigwe and Rexx Life Raj as well, who's another really great up-and-coming artist, and kind of just sit down and talk to them about their music, why they do it, and what they want to leave behind. All right, so what up, y'all? This is Blake with 106.7 The Beat Columbus. We're here with Tobe Nwigwe. We're here with Rexx Life Raj. First of all, man, thank you for taking the time out. Thank you for having us, man. Appreciate you taking time out for real. So let's get right into it. So we met you yesterday, or a couple days ago, over the Sway broadcast.
Yep.
So first question is kind of how'd you and Sway kind of come to be connected?
That's the craziest thing. So I do this thing every Sunday for the last year and a half, maybe two, called Get Twisted Sundays on all social media platforms. And he just so happened to catch one of the videos on Instagram. And when he saw it, he liked what he saw, and he hit me up.
That's how it
and invited me to the show.
Man.
Straight like that. He didn't even say like, yo, that was good. He was just like, hey, when you gonna come on?
And you just recently released Father Figure 2. So along with that, kind of the titles, what played into what does the Father Figure kind of chronology play into?
It just, to me, it's a mentor, somebody just giving game. Really, it's like teaching, especially young dudes, especially young black dudes, a way to, move and maneuver that's not like ignorant, in a way that you don't have to step outside of your character and do crazy shit. Because I feel like in today's music, it's like so easy for you to get lost in the sauce. And
another thing that kind of stuck out, just watching you perform yesterday, was your passion and your delivery.
Yeah.
And just like you can tell you feel everything you're saying.
Yeah.
So were you always able to kind of comfortably tuck into that and speak on that really personal stuff? Like you had that one line too, even that you bought the two-door because your mom was the only one you were left with or whatever. Were you always able to kind of speak on that openly? Because I feel like a lot of people that's kind of hard.
No, I definitely wasn't. It wasn't until like something tragic happened in my life and I had to reassess my whole little thought process just as it relates to just life and what the meaning of life was. So now I ain't used to be able to speak to it clear. If you would ask me while I was in college what my purpose was, I would have told you to make it to the league, get money, cars, clothes, and what rhymes with clothes.
It's kind of last thing is a little introspective and kind of big because I know obviously your career is not even close to over anything like that. But like when you picture it all at the end, kind of when it sums up and all that, what's like most important to you as far as what you want people to take away? What do you want people to take away and be inspired to feel from your music and kind of what you put out there?
That's a good question. I think for me it's knowing that somehow, I did here help people somehow, because I get DMs from people like, yo, you helped me get through my day, you helped me get through this rough time in my life, I was depressed, and like the music got me through it. To me that means the most, because I know I've been there, where I was depressed or going through some shit, and I would turn on Hella Kid Cudi, and it helped get me through. I turned out to Kanye and get me through. So just being like that positive light in people's lives when they need it, you know, to me it's like crazy because I've had that. I know what that feels like. It's still crazy to me that I do that for some people. So as long as I can do that and provide some type of positivity.
Yep, that I died empty. That's it. That I gave you everything that I had. I fulfilled everything that I was supposed to do. I left absolutely no potential on the table. That's what I want people to take. That's it. I died empty.
That's real shit.
Yeah.
That's real shit. Well, thank you for having us again, man.
No doubt.
So again, thank you to Tobe and Rexx for sitting down with us. We appreciate it, man. Taking time out. Again, if you guys are watching, we hope you enjoyed just hearing some really cool stuff, really cool narrative of how things play out for different artists. So right after the Sway broadcast, literally about a block away, we went down the street and decided to catch the Jet Life Showcase hosted by Curren
and Friends.
Dose Ed, you come get your complimentary chair massage.
I think I might have a motherfucking problem. I think I might have a motherfucking problem. Stripping and trap, stripping and trap.
I just had to say that shit. Now we in the drop and I swear that shit. We on top, yeah, you heard that shit. I came in on my NASA shit. I ain't worried about you, I got grass and twist.
Cookies and Maseratis, I play Ziploc, about to roll up some high grade. Cool, but they hate me on the high rate. I'll be like, whatever, on with my day. Leave them niggas irate. Illest in the tri-state, my case. Might play outside your mom place. Put her on the entree, make your spot picante.
You can smoke your weed and clap your hands at the same time, I seen you do it before. Daytime, lights on. Hell yeah. Oh, I can't hide, bitch, I'm high when I'm in public. Derez Digital situation critical. Hate to make it so playin', baby, but I ain't playing, baby. You got me confused with one of them other dudes. No, I ain't none of them. Under they break, mumbling and scared, then tell them hoes what it is. This what I told my bitch. I bought that Benz for you so you don't touch my old school. I hustle hard, they know what my focus is. Spit a beat so high the business girlfriend can't get over him. Call him all the time like we should go somewhere and chill. Baby, you should get somewhere. Oh shit.
Just to get by, just to get by. We can use a computer spirits and mute while your egos got rumors. We survivalists, turning consumers. Just to get by, just to get by, just to get. Asking why some people gotta live in a trailer, cause like I said, I paint a picture with the pen like Norman. Hey yo, you represent Texas and you know you fly. Put your hands in the motherfucking sky, let's go. This morning, I woke up, feeling brand new, and I jumped up, feeling my, it's just to stop smoking and stop drinking. I've been thinking, got my reasons just to get by, just to get by, just to get by. 2 shots like a blast. It's got to be. Yeah, who let you rock your body? Shot the party. For these 2 shots like a blast from a double barrel. Yeah. Now if you know the song, you sing along. How it go? How it go? Keep on dancing, keep on dancing, yeah, keep on, you gotta keep on. Lion's share, who says science fair? Get prepared for the lava's adventure. I don't mind if you dive, if you find that treasure. Hands up, cause we in it together. Get your hands up, I love y'all.
The more I smoke, the smaller the doobie get. They taking shots at the jet, also John Woo movie shit. All blanks, I'm unscathed, untouched, on my way to the bank. For trying to play spinning, you shall forever remain without a name. Lanes know what I claim, upset they are. Throw up my set from the sunroof of my car. My seats but a big gassy, bitches crumbling.
Whoa! Hey, make sure you let you hit that. Hey, they told me, 2 minutes, we got to
So that Jet Life Showcase was awesome.
Very smoky.
Very smoky. Definitely seeing some clouds there. As you saw, Talib Kweli out of nowhere. One of the highlights of the week for me. Get By, if I had to really sit down and make like a top 10 songs ever for me, would be hard pressed to not be in that. Or just to see somebody like that unannounced is, it really, and that's another aspect of South by that is very unique in that artist pop-ups are really part of it. They give artists the complete control over these showcases to kind of bring out whoever, and it is really a unique way as a fan to be there and never know really who's gonna pop up.
Yeah, and I never thought I'd see Talib Kweli. I mean, I've seen like a lot of shows. I've seen most of the people I want, but you know, I never thought I'd see Talib.
So right after the Jet Life showcase, which was already right after the Sway broadcast, we stuck around the same place for Trae Tha Truth showcase. Trae Tha Truth deserves a special shout out in this because not only has this man been doing a shit ton for Houston with all the devastation going on there, and has always been just real active in the community. And we saw him, I think it was a total of 6 times throughout the week. He was acting as the ambassador for the city for South by Southwest, which he did an incredible job of. He also gave out at his showcase, you'll see here that there are some boom boxes sitting on stage. He gave away 4 of each of those at every performance he had. So some thousands of dollars in free boom boxes just to people in the crowd. So yeah, shouts to Trae for just being a great ambassador for the city. Being a great person, taking care of so many people that he does not have an obligation to take care of, but he sees it as an obligation, which is how more people should be, for real.
Yeah, and it's cool because, you know, that week, you know, he was also dropping his latest album, Hometown Hero, and that's the show that we ended up, you know, at that same night. It was like kind of like that release party he brought some homies out for, but, you know, he really is that, you know, I guess, you know, somewhat of a, you know, hometown hero. Like, you know, he was bringing legends out, he was bringing newcomers out, you know, really putting people on, you know, giving his city, you know, a show, you know, his area, his state, you know, he really put on. So he's definitely a hometown hero. And yeah, shout out for Trae Tha Truth for taking care of us, for real.
So without further ado, Trae Tha Truth showcase.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Really rock on any block. Whoa. Say what? It's getting with the magic. Bad bitches, bad habits. Every money gotta have it. I used to dream of living lavish. Now I'm living lavish. Say what? My phone with the silver splash. Say what? If I ain't even get off fast. Yeah. Hard away. Yeah. Yo, give me hard away. I'm number 1 on your penny. I give the shot that you penny. Yeah. Now I go fuck up and linen. Spend a few hundreds on pennies. Yeah.
If you really know the plug, make some motherfucking noise, man. That's the plug, man. Let's get it, man. We don't know you, ayy, so we don't buy you. We don't know you, so we don't try. Really know the plug, yeah. That my guy. Really know the plug, yeah. That my guy. I can't play with one song, so I gotta take it all the way back to my first song. You got a nigga in the game. So listen, I need everybody to sing this with me, you know, cause I'm on the wheel of steel. Dig that. Can y'all sing? I'm finna sing. Hey. All these girls excited. Ooh, you know they like it. I'm so icy. So icy. Girl, don't try to fight it. All your friends invited. I'm so icy.
Versace with juice ahead on me like I'm Illuminati. This is a gated community. Let's get the fuck off the property.
If you the clip like something she said, bitch. Tell them all about the city when niggas be playing. Tell them I'm in the gutter with something carrying. Throw the cloud and niggas ain't nothing about it. I ain't giving a fuck, motherfucker, man. Tell them I'm in this business, something forever. Fuck around with the truth, that's what I'm gonna speak on every one of them, none of them gonna speak. Did it for my dogs and my cousins. Next track, leave on the best place. I'm the city, I'm representing from West State. Hands up, hands up, hands up, down, up. Drinking on Texas, talking loud places. Pumping UGK, motherfucker. Riding dirty with the K, motherfucker. Underground as the K, motherfucker. I said drinking on Texas, parking lot flexing, bumping UGK, motherfucker. I said long live the pimp, motherfucker. You tell him, bro. All you hoes still get no love. Check this out. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Up, down, up, right. I got bodies, cause they tried to try me. I got bodies, cause they tried to try me. Yeah, but this night's burning. Still a true nigga, remember that. I'm in the foreign, no still a lot of tip for that. I'm talking slow, but I ain't talking about the simple ass. I'm in the kitchen where they whip it up and sit it back. If you got love for DJ Screw, Fat Pat, Big Mo, Pimp C, Mafia Gator, 3-2, Clip D, free my brother down, free my brother Dickie. Let me in here. Grip. I need to take him on the motherfucking ride, nigga. Whoa. Hey. What they say? Swing to the swing to the left. Pop my trunk, yeah. Swing to the swing to the left. Pop my trunk, yeah. Swing to the left. Pop my trunk, I would give my last breath if I could bring you back. Bring school back, matter of fact. Bring the whole crew back. Only God can do that, so I'ma leave it alone. Moving on, grooving to the soothing song. Cruising along, still got a screw tape on. Still in the zone, wish a big hawk was on. Ride no chrome, banging with my bug lights on. Ride on Southeast Southern. On Fat Pat's clone, his legacy carries on. His heartbeat bumps through my yeah, flipping with Trae, Marvin down, MLK. He blew over grade, tipping 7 dudes today. Doug K, chiefing on some love, and we down in Austin, Texas, acting. But we gon' swing and a swing and a swing to the left. Pop my trunk. I'ma swing and a swing and a swing to the left. Pop my trunk. Hey, say you ain't shit if you ain't never been. Say you ain't shit if you ain't never been. Say you ain't shit if you ain't never been. Say you ain't shit if you ain't never been. Side by Southwest, I love y'all motherfuckers, nigga, real talk.
So after that long day of 3 separate showcases, 3 separate shows, the next day we still got out there and we checked out the Shy Showcase. Shouts to Lena Waithe and Common producing on that, where we got to see Joey Purp. And he put on one of the best performances of the week, just straight up as far as performance goes. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on, and that we both have noticed, that any aspiring artist should listen to this as advice, because we have seen a lot of shows, and just from a fan perspective, this makes such a huge difference, that Joey Purp did not use a back vocals the entire set. He had the instrumental, and predominantly you could hear him, you could hear the emotion in his voice delivering every line, and it makes it's probably the #1 thing I would say as far as what the best performers we see have in common. Rapsody, who you'll see later, no backtrack. Just so many, the Kendricks of the world, the Chances, just the great performers, no backtrack. The way I look at it every time, and I'm a stickler for live performance and shit, but I almost take it as a disrespect as a fan. If I see an artist who's relying on the music they've already recorded to be played at a live show, just because it's like, we're not here to see if you can play your song live. You know, you should be able to, if Kendrick can rap every one of his verses without stopping, without a backtrack, there's no excuse. You know, and it's it takes work, but it's something that everyone should seek to do, and just as a fan, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, it's not easy, but you know, it's definitely worth it. It can make or break a performance, you know, honestly. You know, I make music myself, but I've been to a lot of shows, and you know, it's just like, you know, seeing a live show. Like, you want it to be live. You don't want it to be like karaoke, you know, at 4th Street or something like that. Like, you want a live show. Like, you want to be able to, like I said, you know, feel the emotion, you know, hear it word for word, you know. And sometimes, you know, the backtrack is there to help out, you know. It's supposed to be like, you know, a safety net, you know. But it's also, you know, there's ways to do it too. So, like, the balance of the backtrack. Like, you can turn down the vocal on it a lot. You know, you can turn the beat up, you can turn the mic up. But, you know, just a good balance of it to where you can, you know, hear mainly the artist actually performing it. you know, so you capture that raw vocal, you know, that experience, that moment in time.
So that's one of the things you definitely pay attention to here is you check out Joey Purp's performance at the Shy Showcase from South by Southwest.
I'm trying to fuck the stewardess before the plane land. Indian head polo, I hit the rain dance. She got my number and my Instagram name, cause she really bad, she a photo. She a fucking nigga off the gram for a photo. She ain't really bad as a photo juice. Had her on the camera going down in a photo booth. Yeah. My name is Joey Purp, if you ain't know, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise for yourselves for being out here today. Yeah. Chicago shit. I done been on both sides of the burner. I done witnessed both sides of the murder. I done seen my people kill. And see my people kill each other. Tell me how you feel. I'll show you how I feel to see a homicide. Let's go. Look in the mirror, all I see is the money. I close my eyes, all I see is the money. Cause I done been on both sides of the burner. I done witnessed both sides of the murder. I done seen my people kill. See my people kill each other. Tell me how you feel. I'll show you how I feel to see the homicide. Look in the mirror, see myself in my mama's eyes. If you knew what I see, you'd be traumatized. So, stole these jeans, I sell them. I'm gon' buy me 20 bags of that Molly down Bronx nickel bags. Some niggas who no longer body. Talking to my brother when he caught that body, nigga. Hands up! Woo! Let's go South by Southwest. Yeah, all we ask is trust. All they need is love. All we had was we. All we need is us. I done seen the light. In my memories and such, I'm still alive. Yeah. I know we still alive, but I wake up the bullets flying. Feel the cry, ambulance, the beat pass. Pray none of my homies die. Smoking, thinking about the past. Wishing I could press rewind. Think about the changes, all the ways I should have read the signs.
So on our last day of South by Southwest, the plans went a little awry. First, we had kind of planned on trying to check out the Roots do a annual showcase down at South by Southwest. It's a jam session. So we went to check that out, and unfortunately, it was only a wristband event. But that's not really why we bring it up. What ended up happening with that show, we found this out while we were at the Live at the Barbecue Mass Appeal event, headlined by T.I., that we'll show you here in a minute. But the Root show actually ended up getting completely canceled because someone had made a bomb threat. I don't know if they ever figured out exactly where it came from or anything, but this came in the wake of the whole week we were in Austin. There were UPS packages that were being sent to predominantly black families that were exploding. So literally some just terrorist shit, straight terrorist shit going on while we were there. And we assume it was partially precaution over that because some real shit was going on, partially precaution because there's just so many people and you just never really know. It comes down to, you know, with everything going on with shootings and just all these mass horrible things going on, it's weird times. That's kind of the thing we came to. We were in a line, when we were in line for the TI show, it kind of got brought up that there was a hotel across the street from us, that we were in this line for like an hour and a half. There's a couple hundred people lined up down the block and we hadn't even thought about it. And it got brought up that, you know, the Vegas thing was somebody out of a window. And it kind of, once everybody got thinking about it, it made you feel some type of way that a few years ago, before all of this, being so consistent was non-existent. It wasn't even a thought. And, you know, it's not something we want to get too far into and let overshadow anything about how amazing this week was and everything. But it's something that we also just have to be conscious about and just look out for each other about, and, you know, just be aware of your surroundings and that type of stuff, because it really is, you know, scary times out here. So having said all of that, on our last day of South by Southwest, we attended the Live at the Barbecue Mass Appeal event. The performers included T.I., Rapsody, Dave East. The lineup was pretty stacked. Just Blaze. I mean, T.I., man. Like, we saw T.I. live. We saw 24. You'll see all the classics, but he's one of those. It was just classic after classic. The audience was great.
After class.
Another thing that not a lot of people may notice as far as live performance goes, sometimes when you see a DJ perform live, especially in hip-hop, it can be a bunch of different things. It could mean that they're going to play their music and hold a microphone and kind of just let you, which is cool. Some people do that, but Just Blaze is unique in that he sits there and mixes his music live and just uses his own classics and transition stuff in ways that you would never think of. Enjoy the last showcase we got to attend, Live at the Barbecue.
Bad things, there's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish on me. Yeah. Hey. She said, do you love me? I tell her only party. I only love my bed.
Your motherfucking hand.
Check for the air, don't stop, fans up, circle the block. Pull the top. Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh, no, that's how we're proud of the road.
So before lights out, I wrote my kids every night, and I kissed that stamp on a kite, and I said a prayer, hoping it lands safe in its flights. Shit, I pray they slept safe through the night. I tried to teach my son right and give him some jewels, but it's hard to raise your boy from a fucking visiting room. And many cells turned to prisoners' tombs. I just pray I ain't dying there. And one night, I felt it in the air. They handshaking naturally smile. Them niggas fine. Some of the realest shit I ever wrote. All for the realest shit I ever smoked. Roll that shit, like that shit, smoke it. Roll that shit, like that shit, smoke it. Roll that shit, like that shit. Roll that shit, like that shit. Let's go. Wait a minute, man, hold it. You don't know. Keep it going, John. Everybody, get him up in this joint. The streets gave me heat, and the eagle was the thing that they gave me.
Yo, I took 20,000 and went to Miami. Yo, went to Club Live and it came in handy. Yo, $100 bill, you get what I'm stabbing. Yo, I got the AK outside, so don't panic. Yo, walked in Louis and spent 6 G's. Ran out of switches to stuff the weed.
walked in shell, flamed up a L, bumping Marshalls, feel like Braille.
Look, don't worry about anything they told you. Remember what she said about winning and what the code do. Everything's a season and some things you gotta go through. Believe me, y'all done seen it all. You young talking to old you. When haters come around, look them down, tell them we don't owe you. I'm the better version of what you used to think you call talent. I've been begging to check my balance. You a better way from skid row. I owe Sally Mae, but all my people way more. Got arrested on the 7th day and worked on me on day 4. I've been killing for a long time. My lawyers got a case law. The save or raise a dog bait out. Every friend of JD that set it off. I'm a midget in labor, delivering babies the size of Raiders. The paintings were made of ultimatums, got none, so don't come looking for favors. I'm tired of you fakers, Carolina, but I still rep the Lakers. West side, east side, and beside my ties, good with my neighbors. Double back on my sins and pray one day I'm good with my maker. So Austin, Texas, if they ask you about Rapsody, don't tell them I'm a female rapper, don't tell them I'm a female MC, don't tell them I'm a MC. When they ask you about Rapsody, you tell them I'm a motherfucking beast, my niggas.
What's up? Run it up. Run it up. Whoa, I think everybody ain't got me. Coming back over Scotty. I'm sure this paper be Scotty. I hope I don't catch me a body.
Southwest, what up? Now I know I'm asking a stupid question, but if you love trap music, make some noise. Well, okay, but tell them who I feel. I'm a bad man. Why I live out the band? Hey, tell them who I feel. I'm in trouble, man. I always in trouble, man. Worth a couple $100 grand. Every all colors. This is dope. What else? Hold up. Hey, I say we need another. Your thoughts and your feelings, nigga, you don't know. You might have seen me in the street, but nigga, you don't know. And when you holler, when you speak, remember, you don't know. Save all the hating in the closet, nigga, you don't know. But tell the niggas you my partner, nigga, you don't know. Don't be a groupie, keep it moving, nigga, you don't know. Hey, I ain't tripping, cause the truth is really, you don't know. Yeah, you know they call me T.I., but you don't know. Hey, you be hating and I see why, cause you don't know. I'ma show you how to do this. Hey, big shit poppin'. Big shit poppin'. Little shit stop. Hold up. Big shit poppin'. Little shit stop it. All on you nigga. Cause I know how to handle your fake ass. I'ma ride on you and hide your yesterday trash. Pull up in the Chevy, spraying round through the glass. Now you're laying face down in the grass and I laugh. Another bill that I have to pay. The weed man said he was 5 minutes away. And that was yesterday, but it could always be worse. Every day, good day, but real life on high beats on the truth. He can like me, no exaggeration necessary. Living revolutionary, dead listen legendary. Shit hereditary, got it from my dad. No cold in February with extraordinary swag. What I want you to do here, I want you to focus, alright? Even though you say you're lit, you've been drinking this shit, I just want you to goddamn think back as far as you can. And let me know if you can remember what the fuck you was when you first heard this shit right here.
Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Hey, T! VIP, coming live from VIP. Heard the night like long life, who that be? More straight, wanna see my knee. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other nigga got a hit, but shout he not me. Who set the city on fire, soon as he got free. The king back now, hold on, they know how to act now. Hit the club, spin it, get naked, boy, I'm sack down. Still ballin', money stacks all the shack now. Still push the button and let the roof on the lack down. I'm on the road, doing shows, pull back down. Mississippi to Philly, Albuquerque to Chat Town. Got the crowd yelling, bring them out, bring them out. I'm a hot girl yelling, bring them out, bring them out. I'm a dope boy yelling, bring them out, bring them out. Bring the bad day yelling, bring them out.
mean, who done really been through the bullshit that I've been through, man, and have an opportunity to change the standard of living for his entire family for generations. And it's all because of y'all, you know what I'm saying? So I want to say I appreciate you. Love.
South by Southwest. Hustle gang over everything. We love y'all. It's the king. Yeah.